What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a post-game live. It's not gonna be a very long one, but it's gonna be a very tough one. like, um, actually, during the game when we were losing, I wasn't even too bothered about it because I'm getting used to it now, which is not a good thing. Not saying I'm accepting it, but I'm getting used to losing these type of games to actually be never be in the game, if we be completely honest. um but afterwards I get mad, or like I think about it, and that was that was hard. That was hard to watch. That was actually terrible to watch, and it's actually unacceptable that we put in these kind of performances. Like I've said it many times, I'm okay with losing because, not okay, but I accept losing a game because it's football. You're gonna lose game. You're gonna lose and win games, but the way we lose games is unacceptable. We we lose games, and afterwards you never have to have you never have the feeling that you come on, or like you sit back and you're like, man, we lost that game, but we shouldn't. We were the better team. Just bad day at the office. We come out of the most of the L's, and we're like, yeah, that that was just normal. It was coming. You can see it from the first minute. And I said it while I was watching the first 35 minutes. I'm like, "Ugh, if we don't score before halftime, somehow we're not winning this game because this team cannot turn it on. They just can't. They play off reaction, usually going down. Again, today we go down. We have some sort of reaction. It's too late. Like, it's very, like, why do we need to go down, or why does something need to happen before we actually go for it, try to win a game? We don't do that. I think the approach is very in that way, that we go off reactions. And even then, I tweeted out the stat. We don't have good reactions. We usually don't overcome these type of things. And the subs, man, the subs are always being made when it's desperation mode, or we actually go down and goal. Then you make the subs, or Allegri makes a sub, rather than anticipating probably going down or playing not good enough, and then put in a Chiesa or a Pogba, whatever, and go for it, try to win it. We don't do that. I think we had a first shot in the 60th minute or something, or just early 60 minute, very late 58 minute or something like that. That was our first shot on target against. I'll repeat it. We were terrible. We were, and we know that. But that Sassuolo team was horrible. Like, they were bad. They were really, really, really bad. Especially in the first half. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, usually when we're playing bad, at least the opposition is playing well. So something is happening, defending, whatever. They weren't playing well. They were just terrible. Up to a certain point in the second half, when they had a few chances in 3-4 minutes, and then they took advantage of that, and they scored in the same moment. That's everything. That's all. So I don't get it. And afterwards, you have Allegri coming out saying, we need to improve in this, and this. We need to learn this, and this. And I'm like, the season is over. Like, it's 2 months. Like, and you've been here for 2 years. When are we gonna improve? Because if you still come out and say we need to improve, and um, excuse me, it's April, halfway April, then I don't get it. I don't get it because I think 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Allegri was on a podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, and he said if a coach still needs to coach 6 months into the job, then he has done a terrible job because the players have no idea what needs to be done. We have no clue on that pitch. Like, there are no patterns of play. There's nothing to build on. There's nothing to fall back on if you have a bad moment. There's nothing. And that's why I defended Vlahovic so many times, up to a point where I'm like, I think everybody can see it now because everybody was calling for Milik. Milik looks terrible as well. You don't, in this situation, I do like stats, and stats are important. But what does your eye test tell you about that game? About how we play, about our strikers? You know, you can say, oh, Keane or Milik had three, four, I don't know how many goals more than Vlahovic. I have actually no idea. So it could be more. But what does your eye test tell you? We look terrible. We had Milik picking up the ball in front of our box a couple of times, losing it, making the wrong decisions and all those things, making a couple of fouls as well. And I'm like, oh, that shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening. And that's why I criticize Vlahovic because some things he needs to do better. Today he was kind of good, holding up the play, laying off play, but the ball never comes back. How many times do we go on a quote unquote counter and the ball just get laid back backwards? And I'm like, why? Why do you take the pace out of a game where there's no pace in at all? The little momentum you can create on a counterattack. We even, at a certain point, we're like, no, we don't even do that. And that pace today was so slow. It was so terrible. And we still lost the game. I'm just thinking about Thursday. I've watched that Sporting game almost entirely at home against Arsenal. If they play with the same intensity and the same pace and the same technical ability, we are absolutely done. We're done. We'll probably be if we play like we did today on Thursday and Sporting play like they usually play at home, we will be down a goal within 10 minutes. We will not keep up with that pace. We just can't. We don't have the legs for it. We don't have the intensity for it. We have nothing. So just worrying signs. Just all worrying signs for me at this moment in time. There's actually nothing positive out of that game. Let me see the comments because I can't see it now. Also, first, thanks Jerry for becoming a member. He will join the show on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. If you want to join the show, you can become a member and you can come on and have your say. People ask me, can you bring on people who are not members? No, because of a very specific reason. Because we need to know who you are when we bring you on. Because I'm not saying you might say something wrong, but if you do, we at least know you beforehand before we bring people on. That's the only reason, actually. But thanks for becoming a member. See you on Tuesday. Joe, I cannot read the names. Excuse me. Still pissed about Pogba being on the bench for 82 minutes. We can't string two passes together, and you got top 3 in the world, playmaker, and a world champion on the bench. I think Pogba, 8 minutes is ridiculous. I get you're not fit, but it's weird, 8 minutes, but whatever. But he makes a difference. Quality-wise, it's different, obviously, when you bring on quality. But we should... It sounds ridiculous saying you shouldn't be relying on Pogba, because if you have him, yes, technical ability. But we have no style of play. We're playing Sassuolo, we are playing Monza. It's the same thing over and over again. No matter who plays, we can have Chiesa, Vlahovic, Di Maria up top, Locatelli in the midfield, your best 11. It's horrible. It's just horrible to watch. And I'm saying my man Fagioli is crying Sassuolo game. That's the second time he's crying. The Fagioli thing. I'm going to say it again. Love the kid. Hope he stays here for many, many years, because he will improve, and I think he will be important for the future. But you cannot do that, man. I couldn't believe what I saw. We have players crying for a game against Sassuolo. You made a mistake that led to a goal. It happens. Get over it. Move on. You cannot be sitting there in front of the camera and cry. I have so many issues. Emotions, okay, but just do that in the locker room. You don't need to cry. It's a mistake. I think that's one of the issues with this club. I don't like the mentality of the players. I don't think they are not serious enough, but like hard enough. They're soft. We're actually a very soft team. I, I couldn't believe what I saw. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't believe it. You know, he loves the club. We all do, but to cry for a game against Sassuolo, I don't know, man. You made a mistake. Like if this was a Champions League final and you messed up, and that's the goal that's gonna cost you the final, I get it. But it's Sassuolo mid-season. I don't get it. Like he played terrible. He was terrible. He made a mistake. It happens. You know, Bremer made mistakes. He gets over it. You just need to move on. Like I don't get it. I absolutely don't get it. But whatever. Del Juve Pierre saying one thing is absolutely clear. If you keep Allegri next season, things will not improve. I agree with that. He's building a solid team. What? Seriously, I don't want to hear about Allegri anymore. I'm totally dependent on Di Maria and Pogba just being Yeah, it's individual brilliance, and we know that. You know, we know that. We are extremely lucky in the first game, and that we will make it out. Yeah, also agree. Fagioli tears today remind me that of that stand in front of the away section in Monza Stadium was a 10th route. This team has a weak personality. I can't remember last time we made a comeback. Well, I tweeted it out. We almost did never. Like when we go down, we're down. We're cooked. We're just gonna lose that game, you know, or not win that game. Um, but that being said, I agree. You know, that Monza thing, we all slammed the players for it. You know, crying. Now it's the same thing. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I've never seen it before. We have players crying twice during the season. I don't get it. I don't get it. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. He cried because he realized he's going to. Yeah, that's true. Please fire this man. We talked about it. Yeah, he will. He will. He will play. Like he will. But he made a mistake. You can call it unlucky. It was just bad, but he was having a bad game in general. So I wasn't even surprised that these things happen. When you're in a slump, when you're having a terrible game, the team is playing well, these things happen. You're low on confidence, you're not sure what to do. And that I had that feeling. He was not sure what to do with the ball. And yeah, he messed up. Like it's as simple as that. We just need to move on. Or he needs to move on from it. Because it's gonna happen again in the future. Like you cannot cry about it every single time you make a mistake that will cost you. It will happen in the future. Every player makes mistake once, twice a season. It is what it is. You know, it's football. You need to just overcome that and move on. Like move on. Like it is what it is. Like Bremer played probably the worst game individually any player has had for us this season against Napoli. If people remember, especially that second half, he was. I've never seen that type of a bad performance in a very long time for us, a single player, and that tells you a lot. But Bremer away to Napoli in that second half, I think he gave away the ball like 10 times or whatever. He never won his duel. It was terrible on the ball. And he just flipped the switch and he moved on. Like because you need to move on from it. You cannot if you keep thinking about it, your season is gone. Like you're gonna play terrible, you're gonna make mistakes in the next following week, and it's just gonna pile on, and it is what it is. Same thing for Fagioli. You need to move on. That's it. It's football, and you just need to move on. Yeah, I know. I saw that open play G8. That's it's sad. It's just sad. Like nothing else to say. I think they're just afraid to take risks and make mistakes. I agree. I agree with that. We take very low risk, especially in the attacking phase. Like we don't like to. How do you want to say things? Like we don't like to wasn't that in the first? Wasn't the first half? No, it was in the second half because it was Cuadrado. At one point, he wasn't. He had the pace. He had the ball in his feet. He could have just taken on a player, and it wasn't that difficult. It was just purely on pace. But you can see he was like, nope, not doing that. And by making that decision, he loses possession because he couldn't You know, the moment he stopped, he had two players on it. He knew what was going to happen. He loses possession rather than just take on the player and take the risk of losing possession. But at least you tried. You tried to take him on, and it's just what it is. You know, um, it's not going to change. I know that. It is what it is this season, but I expect us to beat Sassuolo away. Like Milan dropped points, Inter lost. Uh, like, come on, man. Like, I've actually no words for it. Like Sassuolo, Monza twice, Maccabi. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how like, we lost 7 games this season. We are in a top four race if you get us 15 points back. Not because we are good, but all the teams around us are just terrible. And the proof is, look at Napoli, how far they are in front of everyone. We are just terrible. So are the others. That's why we are in it. But other than that, nothing positive to say. You know, I wanted to give Barbieri credit, but yeah, I'll give him credit because he wasn't terrible. Like he was okay. He was decent. You know, for the first game, I thought he was okay, especially in that first half. He had his opponent on lock. Uh, that being said, I don't want to take any positivities out of that game because there isn't. You know, I had doubts about that Sporting game. Those doubts are just worse now. Like I don't see how we're gonna beat Sporting. I just don't see it because I've seen the home game against Sporting and we got away with it. We really, really got away with it. And now I'm like, how are we gonna do? How are we gonna handle the press, the intensity at Sporting when the moment Sassuolo turned it on a little bit in that 10-minute span, we were all over the place. We were all over the place. You had Perin needing to make saves. You had players stopping to play because they were thinking about offside, almost conceding a goal. They're totally switched off. There's no intensity, and when you go down, that's why we don't, you know, overcome these things. It's very difficult to go from no intensity whatsoever to well, now we need to go for it. And yes, we do create chances when we go for it because we have quality enough. My question is, why do we always need to wait for that to be shown when we go down or when we are in desperation mode? Those type of things. I don't get it. I don't like it. It's weak. It's it's embarrassing. Like it's the only word. It's embarrassing. We lost 7 games in Serie A already this season, and that doesn't include the 5 games we lost in the Champions League. So 12 games in a season. I don't know if that's acceptable. Apparently, yes. Apparently, we are overachieving with this squad, which is a very insulting thing to say towards the players and Allegri as well. If you respect any of those things, any of those people, you saying they are overachieving is insulting to them because they're not. They're just not. Um, Let me see. My brother called me today because like yeah, I the worst thing is I'm going to the Napoli game next season next week. I'm actually going. I'm actually going more for time of work, city, just being away a little bit. But then I clocked. I actually need to attend that game, and it's gonna be a horror show. I just know it. I'm probably for the first time ever going to the stadium. I'm gonna see Juve lose. Usually when I go, not usually, they always win. Every single game I went so far, they won. They're probably gonna get smacked around on Sunday against Napoli. That's what's gonna happen. Do you think we can win against Sporting? We'll lose 3-0. Napoli will crash us out, and we're losing against. Uh, I don't think we're gonna win against Sporting. I think we're just gonna lose quite easily, like 2-0, and a game that could have been worse than just 2-0. That's why I mean by easy, because I don't see us winning. I just don't. I agree. Um, Um, yeah, he's apparently overachieving. I don't see how losing 12 games, excuse me, could be 15 by the end of the season, but losing 12 games is overachieving. I don't understand it, but maybe it's just me. But the standards have been lowered because do I think this team is good enough to win the Champions League, win the title this season? No, but it's more than good enough to not be knocked out in the Champions League group stage and not be, I don't know, 20 points off the league title. I do, but that's just me. Murat is saying, excuse me. What worries me also is in the game management from Allegri, the subs and timing, the instructions. I'm feeling he's losing something that was one of his best qualities. Yes, his in-game management was incredible in his first spell. It's terrible now. Like I said, it's very late. It's very reactionary. It's very cautious. When it's still 0-0, he doesn't change too much. It's like for like and try to, win that game. When we go down, it's very reactionary. Chiesa, Di Maria, everybody on that pitch. And I'm like, you know, I don't get it. And I understand resting players today for Thursday. I get that. But you still should be beating Sassuolo. You still cannot play this poorly. And it's because we have no identity and we have no style of play. Is when you take out Chiesa, Di Maria, the guys who can make things happen out of nowhere, which we heavily rely on, it's going to look like this. Like, extremely poor compared to just poor, if you know what I mean. Because what today was, that first half was so poor. Like, you cannot describe how bad that was. Like, it was just bad. And not because Sassuolo were all over us, but the flip side, because they were bad as well, and we were just matching that or even topping that, and that's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable. But again, it's not going to change. It's not going to change for this season, at least. What I cannot understand is how much such an experienced coach has this team playing like this. Yeah, we play scared. We've beat Sassuolo Pirlo in a 2 goals. Russian doesn't need to overachieve. Yeah, I don't like to do. Uh, Look at Pirlo, look at Sari. We made a decision. We didn't have the channel at the time. I think I said what I thought about those decisions. We need to move on from that, as well as we need to move on from this because, again, I have nothing against Allegri because he's one of the most successful coaches in our history. But this second spell is this bad, so bad that you just need to take emotions aside of it. I understand you can like Allegri, but people are too attached to what he did in the past. It's 23. It's not going our way. It's terrible. We're not improving. We lost 7 games, 12 if you include the Champions League games. A change is needed, and maybe the change that's needed will take time to develop. But I think we can all live with that. We know it's a mess now, but it's not going in the right direction. It's just not. Like, it's absolutely not going in the right direction. That's my biggest point. If you like Allegri or you don't like Allegri, I think we can all admit it's not going in the right direction. It's not. We're on pace to having our worst season in a very long time, and yeah, I don't think it's acceptable. I don't believe that's acceptable. That's just me. That's just me. He knows it as well. It's not working, but I don't know what we're doing next. Let's see. I still believe he's gonna walk at the end of the season. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe less compared to 2 months ago when I first said it. 3 months ago, maybe less, but I still believe he's gonna walk at the end of the season because I don't believe he wants to be part of this because I don't know what's gonna happen with the 15 points deduction. But let's say we don't have Champions League Europe or whatever. We don't have a lot of money to spend. He's gonna need to work with a lot of these same players, and he's not getting a tune out of these players. So I don't think he's up for it. I don't think he's sitting there eager to do another 1 or 2 seasons. Because I don't like. He looks very stressed off the field and all those things. Like, usually he's very calm, composed. He's not. So that's just my opinion. It's not hope. It's just basically it's purely an opinion, you know. Um, if you believe the club sources, he's going nowhere, and the club believes in him, and will build with him. But let's see. What I'm saying is just purely based on opinions. Fagioli's tears are embarrassing for me, says Gaetano, not as a Juventus player, but as a player of mediocre teams. Juve is wrong and gets up. For me, he's not ready for you. He's ready for Juve. Like, he has the abilities, he has the qualities. He's very emotional. He needs to control that. But I don't. I agree. I don't like that. Like, it's again, it's not a Champions League final you lost by. It's a Sassuolo away mid-season. Like, I don't get it. You know, um, I, I couldn't believe when I saw that. I'm like, why? Like, come on, man. Like, come on. But yeah, that's that. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I don't want to really talk about positives, but Gatti looked great again. The worrying part is that at one point he was the guy, or most dangerous guy. He was picking up ball, making runs, being into the box again, and I'm like good to see, good for him. But I'm like, this ain't it. Like, this cannot be. Well, that this cannot be the way moving forward. Like, we cannot have Gatti being our most dangerous player. But he was good again, which is positive, I guess, you know, considering the future of this club. Um, but yeah, happy for him. Same for Barbieri, but that's kind of it. What's your take on Fratesi today and his new news on general? I was planning to do a Fratesi video during the week. I didn't think he was good today. Um, I don't think we need him as a starter. I want better. So for me, it's a no. You know, because I don't want to pay 30 million for a backup. I need a starter, star quality, or like potential star quality. I don't think Fratesi has that. I think he's just good. You know, good squad player for a very good team. But we need more than just good squad players now. We need good starters, and I don't know. I'm not hyped about it. I'm absolutely not hyped. I've seen him play very good games. I don't think today was one of his very good games. You know, he lost a lot of possession. He had some good moments, but he played much better in the past, in my opinion. But again, like, it doesn't fire me up or excite me. It just doesn't. You know, it doesn't. Gaetano said, like Fratesi today, he's a fast player. We need fast players. Our players are so slowly. Yeah, we like different type of players, I guess. But I need quality starter, not good for a team. You know, I don't think that's gonna change anything for us coming season. Having him play in midfield, yes or no? That's just my opinion. Yeah, we know Paulo Souza was right, but if Allegri doesn't kick out by management, then with Juve, he's or me. Yeah, I understand wanting to be consistent with coach and building, but when manager of the school, yeah, I mean, when there's no improvement and you just go backwards, then the building stops. Like, if you want to build, you need to see some sort of improvement. You know, if you go backwards, that's not really building, is it? Like, it's breaking down stuff even more, in my opinion. We're just not improving. We haven't improved for years, and from last season to this season is not an improvement. So I agree. You know, we need to make a decision this summer. Let's see if the club is gonna do it. You know, apparently they will not. So I think it's gonna need to happen based on my theory that Allegri will walk, which I think is a possibility still. But again, let's see. I won't say it's very early. It's not very early. The season is almost done, but I think more things will come out should we be out of the Europa League and be out of the Coppa Italia in the next 2 weeks. Then news can start, you know, boiling up again. But things can change really quickly. You know, we can be sitting here in 2 week time, don't get our 15 points back, be completely out of the top four race, be out of the Europa League and be out of the Coppa Italia. That can be happening 2 weeks from now. So let's see. Hope not. But I think the possibility is there, obviously, because the way we're playing, there's no guarantee that we will beat Sporting, beat Inter, and make things happen. So let's see. But I'm gonna wrap this live up because I thought I said it's gonna be a quick one. I already did a match reaction. I don't want to repeat myself again. But thanks everybody for watching on the Sunday evening. We will be back live on Tuesday with a member. If you want to come on, have your say, join the members club, join the private Discord chat, and you can come on the channel. Tomorrow there will be no live, just a daily. So Tuesday live, Wednesday live, because Wednesday is the decision on our 15 points. So it will be a live slash preview for Sporting. Then Thursday, post game, usual stuff. Friday, just a daily. Saturday preview, and then the Napoli game, obviously post game. So stay tuned for that. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you back live on